Today's story, that night. It was summer and the heat was unbearable. The fans and coolers in the house were running non-stop. Even though we lived in a village during this season, it felt like the trees and plants around us, which usually seemed like companions, had fallen silent along with us. The air that blew through the village carried no relief. Instead, it burned like a blade slicing through human skin. That was the atmosphere in my village. During the day, everyone rushed around busily for their work, getting scorched by the sun, and by evening, they would return home exhausted and drained. After quickly taking baths and having their meals, the entire village would bring out their cots, be it wooden cots, folding cots, or traditional rope cots, and set them upon the streets. The streets would be filled with laughter and invitations of come sit here from one house to another. After some chatter and light-hearted talks, people would lie down on their cots, and by 10 o'clock they would be fast asleep. After many days, I too became a part of this routine, blending in with the villagers. At first, it felt good to be among them, listen to their stories, but over time, their talks started turning into anxieties. The biggest fear they spoke of was about a strange occurrence at midnight. After everyone was fast asleep, a mysterious wind called Mohini Galulu would blow through the village. They would believe that these winds would take the form of a beautiful woman and wander the streets. If she found an unmarried young man sleeping outside, she would lure him, seduce him, and then take over his soul. At first, I was scared after hearing these stories, but eventually I dismissed them as a mere rumors. However, one night I realized that it was foolish of me to consider them just rumors, because what happened that night is something I can never forget in my life. The day was a Sunday. As usual, after finishing my evening bath and prayers, I dressed in a white pancha, paid respect to God, completed a few small tasks, and finally lay down on the cot my grandmother had arranged for me. My grandmother loved me a lot, so she too set up her cot next to mine and slept beside me. After some time, everyone had fallen asleep, including me. Deep in my sleep, I started having a strange dream. In my dream, I saw a long deserted street with the two carts placed in the middle. The village, which had over 200 houses, appeared completely abandoned. There was no one awake, except for the street lights casting a dim glow. On one of the cots, an old woman was sleeping, and on another, a young man. About 100 meters away stood a large tamarind tree. During the daytime, it appeared calm, but at night, it became a refuge for nocturnal creatures. As I watched, a shadow figure emerged from behind the tree. With an elegant walk, the figure moved gracefully towards the cars. She was adorned with jewelry. Her long black curls swayed like clouds in the dark, and the faint sound of her anklets echoed through the silence. As she walked, flowers from the surrounding trees fell upon her as if welcoming her presence, spreading an intoxicating fragrance into the air. She slowly approached the young man's cot and reached out her delicate hand to touch his face. The young man in his sleep smiled slightly, as if he was inviting her closer. Encouraged by his response, she gently sat beside him. Her soft flower-like touch seemed to bring him comfort, and he smiled again. However, the woman's weight began to increase unnaturally. What initially felt light and delicate soon became unbearably heavy. Watching this in my dream, I suddenly felt as if someone was sitting on my chest. The pressure grew stronger and stronger, making it impossible for me to breathe. I couldn't open my eyes, nor could I call out for help. I tried to wake my grandmother, who was right next to me, but my body refused to move. Within moments, I felt as if my spine was about to snap under the weight. Then, all of a sudden, I remembered something. Summoning all my remaining strength, I shouted, Jai Hanuman. At that moment, the unbearable weight lifted off my chest and fell to the side. When I opened my eyes, I saw a faint white mist figure fading into thin air. I broke into a cold sweat, my entire body trembling. Immediately, I woke my grandmother and narrated everything that had happened. She took some sacred soil, placed a mark on my forehead, gave me water to drink, and made me sleep beside her. Everything returned to normal afterward, but that night never ended in my dreams. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.